Hey everyone, today we're going to be checking out the art collection from Incase. Here I have the Daypack and the Commuter pack that are part of that collection, and these have actually been around for a little while now, and I've always been surprised that they haven't gotten more attention just given the types of bags that they are and the fact that they're coming from Incase, which is a really well-known brand. I actually had a chance to check out the Commuter pack a while back on the channel, and I thought it was great. I really like the organizational layout, the aesthetic, and I was always curious about the Daypack, so it's been great to have a chance to get hands-on with this one over the past couple of weeks. And in this video, I'm going to be talking about what it's been like to use both of these. I'll talk a little bit about some of the similarities and differences that you want to keep in mind to find the one that's going to be best for you, and I'll also talk about how they compare to some of the other similar bags that are currently on the market. Before jumping into the video, if you're new here, welcome. My name is Danny, and on this channel we love reviewing popular travel and everyday carry gear. If you like these types of videos and you'd be interested in seeing more, please consider subscribing as it helps the channel out a lot. So with all that being said, let's go ahead and jump in. Starting off with the overall aesthetic, like other Incase bags, both of these are going to offer a modern and techie style that's going to work well for traveling, for going into the office, for a more urban setting. On the left side, I have the Arc Daypack, and on the right, I have the Commuter pack. They both have kind of a similar design language, but there are a few differences that I'll call out as we go through the video as far as the features. Continuing along the outside of the bag, as far as the branding, you have the Incase logo on the front for both of them, but it kind of blends in with the color of the bag, so it doesn't feel overly prominent. And then at the top, you're gonna have some really great carrying handles. I like the materials that Incase has used here. They have this kind of seatbelt-like material that feels very nice, durable. They don't have side handles for either one of these. And then the last thing I'll mention while we're talking about the exterior is that both of these have been able to stand up on their own. I have noticed that it's a little inconsistent depending on how the bag has been loaded out. And I do think that the Commuter pack on the right stands up a little bit better. It just seems to have kind of a wider base that gives it that extra bit of stability. And then the Daypack, which is a little slimmer, can still stand up, but I've noticed that once I start to shift things around, it tends to tip backwards. And then moving into the capacities, the Daypack is listed at about 24 liters and the Commuter pack comes in at about 26. In general, I'm a big fan of both of these sizes. They come in at a range that I feel works well for day-to-day usage without looking or feeling overwhelmingly big. And the 24-liter Daypack is of course going to be a little smaller and slimmer looking than the Commuter pack, but both feel like they offer a decent amount of capacity, and they also have kind of more modern techie silhouettes that make them feel like they're going to work well for, navigating crowded areas, jumping onto public transit, and carrying onto a variety of domestic and international airlines. Continuing with the harness system, so far the bags have been very comfortable to wear. This is definitely the type of harness that I'm normally a big fan of, so both bags are going to offer a nice amount of padding that feels very cushioned. Ortholite materials here, you have a breathable material on the inside, and then these straps are also going to offer a good width to help prevent the bag from digging into your shoulders. Here you start to see some of the differences between the two sizes, and so these straps on the Commuter pack feel a little bit wider, a little bit thicker. Both of them feel good, but because this is a larger bag, you can kind of see that they gave it some extra padding. And then the Commuter pack also has a sternum strap included that's adjustable. It's got a nice buckle here. You also have some attachment points on the strap, so there's just a little bit more functionality there. Both are going to offer some good strap management, and then they also both have really nice padding on the back, similar style to what was on the straps, well distributed. You have that same breathable material. The air channels here aren't quite as deep as what I normally like to see. There is a little bit here, but I do wish that there was something to just give you that extra bit of airflow while walking around. Regardless, even when they've been loaded out, they've felt great. And then I like that they both have this really great luggage pass-through to allow you to rest them on your suitcase while traveling to save some weight on your back. Jumping into the organizational options, both offer a nice variety of pockets, but there are going to be a couple of key differences between the two bags. And so at the top, they both have kind of this admin section that is going to be great for easily reaching some of the accessories that you need most often during the day. They have well-protected zippers, particularly since you might be storing tech gear in here. And so I like that this pocket has a good amount of volume so it can handle some bulkier accessories. In the Daypack, I currently have my sunglasses with their case, and then I also have the USB-C hub with a built-in cable that I've been using recently. USB-C charging works for my laptop, for my tablet, and then on the inside you have some built-in organization as well. elastic slip pocket here could be a good spot for your AirPods, and then you have some elastic bands that could be good for everyday carry accessories like a flashlight. I also have a pocket knife here, could be good for charging cables as well. Behind that, you have a slip pocket that has a nice amount of space for something like a little nail clipper set. And I also have some mints in there. And on the back, you have a zippered pocket that, could be a good spot for a wallet or some documentation, extra cash. So, nice variety of pockets included here. This back compartment is also RFID protected. So again, could be good for any of those items that are a little bit more sensitive. And on the commuter pack, you have a similar style pocket here, again, with the volume, and the organizational layout is also pretty similar. I have some different items in here just because, I was kind of spreading things out between the two bags. So at the moment I just have a deck of playing cards, and then I also have my headlamp, but you can see how the same items that I had in the day pack, the sunglasses case and the charging hub, would be able to fit in there. And so those work about the same. It does feel like the one on the day pack is maybe slightly wider than the one here, which could be just due to the fact that the commuter pack has other compartments for organization that the day pack does not. So, little interesting sort of nuance there, but still has enough space for those types of items. And then again, here you have that elastic slip pocket. I'm currently using it to store a USB-C retractable cable, some elastic bands. On the back, you have that slip pocket that I'm currently using to store a portable battery. And then another RFID protected compartment. I'm just using this to store some smaller accessories, a little multi-tool, and my phone mount. And then with the commuter pack, you have an additional zippered pocket on the front, which I am a big fan of. This is the type of pocket that I always find super useful. So it's got a nice large zipper and then a ton of volume. This is what really kind of pushes the volume on the bag to that extra bit of capacity. And so this provides just so much flexibility for, all sorts of items. At the moment, I'm actually using this to store my drone. I have my DJI Neo in here. That fits in there very easily. And then I also have my USB-C hub with a cable for my laptop and other devices when I want to charge them. I was also able to toss in my AR glasses with their bulkier case. So all of those items were pretty bulky, and it still felt like there was leftover capacity. So this could easily handle other tech pouches, over-ear headphones if I have some AirPods Max, or if you're traveling, if you want to use it for toiletries or liquids or anything like that. Just so many different use cases, which is why I love these types of pockets. Reminds me of the one that's on the Pioneer Panda pack, but this one feels even more spacious. So very, very cool implementation here. And then you have the two slip pockets on the back, just providing a little bit of internal organization. One of them is holding a Field Notes notebook for me. And then you also have the lanyard with a clip that's going to be a good spot for your keys or multi-tool or something like that. And then on the sides, both bags have dual zippered compartments that are going to be a good spot for other accessories that you want to get to quickly. And so starting off with the day pack, I have just a portable battery in one of these at the moment, but you can see that it's got a bit of an elastic sort of material here, a gusset that can allow it to work as a water bottle pocket as well. And so this can handle something like my 20-ounce water bottle pretty comfortably. Any of these pockets that are kind of dual purpose, sometimes, they don't feel exactly like a traditional water bottle pocket, but I like that you have the option to kind of use it to store something like this. You can see that the height is pretty good, even for a bottle like this. It's not super snug in there, but that also means that maybe you can hold something a little bit thicker. So, gets the job done there. And you have one on that side and then one on the other side. I'm currently just using this as kind of my quick access area for my AirPods and my charging cable. And then on the commuter pack, you have similar style pockets. These also have kind of a slip pocket on the front, which I don't really use too much. They can handle something like a portable battery, I guess, or other accessory that you might need to get to that, and you're not too worried about it being kind of exposed. So, you do have those, but I like that you have that same sort of zippered compartment with the gusset that will allow you to use this as a water bottle holder as well. And so this 20-ounce bottle slides in there pretty comfortably, and with the volume that's provided, you can handle other things like sunglasses. So, that's one of the nice things about having the zippered compartments here, is that you're not forced to only use it for a water bottle. It can actually store other things, which I think is pretty cool. And then on the other side, I don't really have anything here at the moment, but really nice to again have the two dual-sided compartments. At the top of the commuter pack, there is one more additional quick access pocket that's not present on the Daypack. So this one is right near the handle, and it's got this magnetic closure that lets you get into this compartment that has a soft fleece lining. So this is gonna be, a good spot for something more sensitive, like, some sunglasses. If you don't have a case, your phone. I would actually use this for my AirPods as well as a charging cable. Those are always the things that I'm grabbing most regularly, and so you just toss them in and have easy access when I need to. And this is an interesting pocket, primarily because of the magnetic closure. I normally love this style of pocket, but I prefer a zipper because this magnet has been inconsistent as far as how it closes. And so oftentimes I find that I pick the bag up and it separates, leaving this exposed. And so if it's raining, if I have something sensitive in here, or even just with the lining, this is not a pocket that I would want getting wet. And it always felt like it was a little bit at risk. And so, I understand that magnets are kind of meant to provide quick access and all that. But in this instance, I definitely think it would have been better to have at least a regular zipper. Something with maybe some extra protection would have been even better. And I was sad about it just because I always love this type of compartment. I love the space that's provided here, how easy it is to get to. But with the magnet, I just always have a little bit of anxiety using it. And then as far as laptop access, this is another pretty big difference between the two bags. With the commuter pack, you have a dedicated laptop compartment. With the Daypack, you have a laptop sleeve that's integrated into the main area. And so I'll start off with the commuter pack since it has the external compartment with a well-protected zipper. I like that it has that extra coating and it's got dual zippers. You can easily open this up. And this orientation works great. So when you rest this on your suitcase with the luggage pass-through, you can reach in, grab your device without any issue. You have a nice amount of padding on the back here, and on the sleeve itself, you have a dedicated tablet sleeve and a laptop sleeve. And so great to have a spot for each of your devices. I have my iPad mini in here at the moment. And then I also have my 14-inch MacBook Pro. You can see that the sleeve has that nice soft lining on the inside to help prevent against scratching. And I think this can handle a 15 or 16-inch laptop. And the sleeve feels a little bit thicker than the one for the tablet sleeve. It's not super rigid, but it still feels like it's gonna offer a nice amount of padding. On the bottom, it doesn't feel like there is a big gap. Seems like there's a slight gap, and then you have a little bit of padding. So generally when I've placed my laptop inside, I haven't noticed any issues with contact, but I do wish that it was maybe pulled up just a little bit more to give that extra peace of mind. And then getting my device out of the compartment. Now with the compartment empty, you can get a better look at the inside. Again, you have the lining on both sides, which is really nice. And this does come up a decent amount, but as you start to pack out the main area, I could start to see it getting a little tight for thicker devices. So that's something that you want to keep in mind. But in general, with the lining and the padding that's offered here, although I wish it was pulled up a little bit more from the bottom, it still feels like my device was going to be well protected while I'm on the road. And then coming back to the commuter pack, as I was saying, the laptop sleeve is actually integrated into the main compartment. You don't have a separate area for it. And you have a pretty large zipper here. It goes down a good amount, very smooth working zippers. And before kind of digging into the contents of this main area, I did want to just kind of showcase the access to the laptop sleeve when the main area is packed out. This is always one of the things that I prefer about having a dedicated compartment versus having it integrated here into the main areas, because I have all my stuff here that I kind of have to move out of the way to be able to get my laptop in and out. So this is the same laptop that I had in the commuter pack, and I am able to get it in there, but it's just a little bit more cumbersome. I can get the tablet in there as well, and then I can open it from the top to get stuff, but I just kind of have to move things out of the way. So I know some people aren't as crazy about having a dedicated compartment. That's just one of the things that I prefer. And then opening this up, you have pretty nice open layout. At the moment, I have my kind of standard daily loadout here. I have an AirTech pouch at the top, and then I have packable rain jacket, Civic Access pouch 1/2 liter, my Beat Studio wireless headphones, and at the bottom I have the Civic Access pouch 2 liters. And on the other side, you have this kind of a mesh slip pocket to divide out some space here. So this segment does have some volume to it, so it's able to handle my Alpaca admin pouch and the Evergood Civic Access pouch 1 liter. So, you can see that 24 liters of capacity there. The divider here is interesting. It's nice that it provides some separation and some actual space for bulkier things, and then you can kind of press up against the other side if you prefer not to use it, if you just want to take full advantage of this for something like minimal travel. With the amount of space that's offered here, you could, put a packing cube in here, a toiletry bag, an extra pair of shoes, and use this for a longer weekend trip. And now with the compartment empty, you can get a better look at the tablet and the laptop sleeves here on the back. And same style as what we saw on the commuter pack as far as the padding here for the tablet sleeve and the space. My iPad mini fits comfortably, but you could store something a little bit larger. And then for the laptop sleeve, you again have that soft lining on both sides. I like that it has this lip that comes down, which helps manage the access when your device is going in and out. As with many of these compartments, this lip coming up here could potentially present some challenges if you have a larger laptop as far as kind of getting in the way, but for my 14-incher, it's definitely manageable. And then, you have again that same style of padding on the bottom. This one feels like it has a little bit more of a false bottom than the one on the commuter pack. Just feels like there's a more clear gap. I can actually see it here. It didn't feel quite this pronounced when, I was kind of checking out the compartment on the commuter pack. So, something to keep in mind, but in general, Incase is known for offering good protection for laptop devices, and I feel like both bags do a good job of that here. So this is the Daypack. I will come around to the commuter pack for a second, and we can take a look at this main compartment, which again has that style of zipper that comes down enough to allow you to really open this up pretty wide. And then on the inside here, I have more of a minimal travel setup at the moment, just so that I kind of load the bag out. And so I have a Peak Design pouch here near the top that's kind of the same size as one of my toiletry bags. And then I have an extra pair of shoes tossed in there and a compressible packing cube from Tortuga. And here's another difference with the bags. You have these compression straps to help you secure anything that you're carrying. So in this case, I'm using it to hold down my packing cube, but if you're not using a packing cube, or if you have other things that you want to use, you can use those. I'm not always a huge fan of these straps. I just feel like they're kind of extra clutter. I would have preferred not to have them, but I suppose they could be helpful for certain packing styles. And then this Tortuga compression packing cube fits very easily in there. The Peak Design packing cubes that I normally use can fit, but they started to feel a little tight when those cubes are packed out. It starts to kind of press up against this main area, and so it's something that can still work, but for this bag, it just felt like that packing cube was a little more easy fitting, and it still left me space to kind of take advantage of other areas of the bag, which is nice. And then on the lid, you also have some added organization as far as having a slip pocket for a notebook. That's what I have in here at the moment. And then a couple of spots for a pen, a stylus. Here I have my scissors. And so, just some added organization. You can also see this top quick access pocket that I was showing earlier with that soft lining does poke into the main compartment. So if you fill this out with something a little bulkier, it will take up some space here. And just for the purposes of showcasing kind of a similar loadout, I will toss in all of the same pouches and items that I had in the Daypack. So I had the Evergoods pouches, the Air pouch, the other smaller Evergoods pouch, rain jacket, and then my headphones. I think those were all the items, and so you can see that it still fits quite well. The main compartments don't feel that different as far as space, and in some ways the Daypack with the simple layout and the rest of the bag feels like it can hold, very, very similar. But with the commuter pack, after loading this main section out, you still have pretty much the full volume of this external compartment, which again is why I thought that was such a cool idea to include it. And yeah, and I'll put that same packing cube into the Daypack, and this could easily hold the Peak Design compression packing cubes. Just with the more open layout, I feel like it's a better fit. So throw those same things in there. Extra pair of shoes, as I was saying. You can even use that divider, and then closes up very smoothly. And yeah, I think that pretty much covers all of the features as far as the two bags. The last thing to talk about here is the pricing. The day pack, I believe, comes in at around $150, $170, and then the commuter pack, I've seen it around $200, maybe a little bit over $200. So both are in a pretty kind of standard tech bag range for this category. Definitely an investment, you know, and they feel like they're gonna offer a nice amount of value. There is, you know, pretty good difference as far as the pricing between the two. So depending on your budget, if you wanna save a little bit of money, then the day pack definitely has that going for it. And, you know, as far as the extra cost for the commuter pack, you do get the added pocket on the front, this, you know, volume one that I've mentioned that I absolutely love using. You have the quick access pocket at the top, which I wasn't as crazy about, but it is an extra area to organize. And potentially the biggest one, you have the dedicated laptop compartment. So that's gonna make it easier to get to your device throughout the day while you're traveling. So, you know, if those things are important to you, then I think that the additional investment in the commuter pack is probably gonna be worth it. For me, I would definitely prefer to go with the commuter pack just for those extra things. But if you're a fan of Incase's style and you're looking for a tech-friendly, kind of sleek, everyday carry bag, then I think the commuter pack is still gonna be a great option. And regardless of which one you go with, I think you're gonna get something that's gonna be comfortable and just work well in a lot of different situations. And so as I was testing these out, the first bag they made me think of is the Incase Crosstown backpack, which I also took a look at pretty recently. That one's gonna have a little bit of a different aesthetic and layout, but you know, just a really great minimal tech bag. It's gonna offer a nice organizational layout, dual external water bottle pockets, comfortable harness system, luggage pass-through, a well-padded laptop compartment that's integrated into the main area, some great quick access pockets. And so, you know, it's just a really solid, simple bag. It comes in at around 20 liters. So, you know, kind of a, you know, versatile size that doesn't feel overwhelmingly bulky. And it's also around $100. So if you're looking for something very versatile and stylish, that's gonna be a great option to take a look at. The next bags these made me think of is the Timbuktu Division and Authority packs. Those are really solid tech and everyday carry bags, really nice organizational layouts, dedicated laptop compartment that's padded, suspended, really comfortable harness systems. Like the Arc collection, they have a version that's a little bit smaller, which is a Division pack, and so it's got a simpler layout, top loading compartment, quick access pocket, and then the Authority pack is gonna give you some extra organization. It's gonna be a little bit larger, but you know, both are gonna be excellent kind of all-purpose bags. And if you're looking for something that's, you know, kind of in this category, but that's gonna give you a different layout and look, then those are gonna be some great options to keep in mind. And then the last options that I'll mention here are the Air City Pack 2 and City Pack Pro 2. Those have been some of my favorite new tech bags of the year. Very durable materials, super comfortable harness systems. They offer really nice organizational layouts. With the City Pack 2, it's gonna be a little bit smaller and the layout's gonna be more simplified. So kind of like the Arc Day Pack, it has the laptop sleeve integrated into the main area, but it still has a luggage pass-through, an external water bottle pocket, a nice admin section. And then with the City Pack Pro, comes in at 24 liters, so it's gonna be a little bit larger. It has a clamshell style opening, dual external water bottle pockets, a great laptop compartment. And so, you know, they just check off so many of the boxes for what I typically look for, and it's great that they offer different sizes, colors, and also material options. So looking for, you know, a sleek and durable tech and everyday carry option, those are gonna be some great options to check out. With that being said, the Arc Day Pack and Commuter Pack continue to hold up very well against all those options. I've been a big fan of Incase for a long time, and I think these are great additions to their overall lineup. And if you're looking for stylish and versatile tech bags that are gonna work well in a lot of different situations, then I think these are gonna be some great options to take a look at. And I'm definitely curious to hear what you all think of the Arc collection and how they compare to some of the other popular tech and EDC bags that are currently on the market. And if there's any similar bags that you think that I should check out, as always, please let me know in the comments. And I want to thank Incase for sending the bags for me to test out, and to you guys for watching and supporting the channel. If you enjoyed this video, please give us a like, and if you haven't already, make sure to subscribe so you don't miss any upcoming videos, and we'll see you in the next one.